Before we start today's show, let me tell you about the Oxford Exxon and Blue Sky there on Highway 6 West in Oxford. You know you're going to get a chance at the Pavilion and Swayze Field this week to pick up your Stadium Cup. You can take that by the Blue Sky in Oxford and fill it up for 49 cents every single time. Quench your thirst for 49 cents with a fountain drink from the Oxford Exxon. Also, the lunch special is $4.99 every single day. 2 sides of bread, 32-ounce drink. Today is chicken spaghetti if you'd like to take advantage of that, or pick up some ribs on the way home tonight, wet or dry. Your decision. Call ahead, they'll be wrapped up and ready to go, or just stop in, and they'll get them to you as quickly as possible. Also coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio, 662-257-1900, there in Amory, Highway 25 South. Give Corey a call. You know, within 15 minutes, you're going to get a bottom dollar quote from Clark Ford. You can shop it around. You can take it, whatever you'd like to do at the end of the deal. However, mention the podcast, extra $500 off there with Clark Ford. He'll make sure he can get it to you if you're not from around there. So, again, Clark Ford Studios. And now let's get on with the show.
From the Clark Ford Studio in Oxford, Mississippi, MBW Digital proudly presents the Oxford Exxon Podcast.
I'd say thanks for tuning in, but why am I going to give you a round of applause for something that you're supposed to do, to be frank?
And now, here are your hosts, Chase Parham.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
And Neal McCready.
I deserve to be on TV.
Welcome to this Monday morning edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio this morning. Started off, happy birthday to Libby Craddock. I see today is her birthday from different social media, so happy birthday, Libby. I highly doubt you're watching, but your father probably are listening, not watching. No one's watching us, thank God, but listening, but your dad probably is. So happy birthday today. A lot to talk about. We've got basketball going into the final week of the regular season. Kentucky at the Pavilion for Ole Miss's senior night. That's 8 o'clock on Tuesday. You got 5 baseball games this week. Little Rock on Tuesday, East Carolina. Cliff Godwin coming back to Oxford on Wednesday. And then UAB this weekend, the last weekend prior to SEC play, where Ole Miss opens up with Alabama. And also on Saturday, Ole Miss headed to Columbia, Missouri for their senior day, which also ends the regular season and sets all sights on Nashville. So Ole Miss coming off a 2-0 basketball week, losing by 1 to Arkansas. What did I say?
You said 2-0.
Sorry, 0-2.
They wish.
Very well right now. 2-0 would be much different conversation.
We'd be having a completely different conversation at this very moment.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, it's Monday. It is what it is. I didn't sleep much. I'm a little tired. I'm struggling a little today. Usually I'm pretty good in the mornings, but I've had a little bit of a tough morning to kind of get going today.
I'm fresher than I thought I'd be.
Are you really?
Today, yeah.
I just didn't sleep at all. I don't know.
Well, I hardly slept at all Saturday night. Because when you know you have to get up super early, you just don't sleep.
You don't.
And so got up and drove in silence so Campbell could sleep.
It's polite of you.
It was. I listened to a podcast recommendation.
Yeah.
Now look, it's a little gooby, but I'm kind of gooby. So it's called The Big One. It's done by the Los Angeles Times and
Okay.
KCCP or something in LA.
Sure.
It's about the long overdue major earthquake that is almost certainly coming on the southern San Andreas Fault.
Oh.
And what it will be like. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a goob for stuff like that. Like what would happen, and then it talks about the psychology of how people react and things like that. I found it fascinating. Many of you probably would not, but it's worth listening to. If you're like me and you like to drive to podcast and you've run out of podcasts, which I'm starting to run out of, it's a good one. It's well done.
Yeah, it's where, when we talked about last week with Corolla and everything, it's where I just kind of thank people for listening, because there are so many podcast options. You can only listen to so many in a day. So staying in that rotation, really, really appreciate it, because you skip 2 or 3 days of something and you can forget it quickly and move on to something else.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a son of a gun. But
it's one of the reasons that Greatest Pod in the South, I'm frankly surprised in some ways that it's had the success it's had. Because sometimes with weekly podcasts, when they're weekly, it's hard to get people to remember.
Weekly and then short ones. It's why you need a certain length, because there are certain lengths podcasts.
That's what she
I won't
said.
even. Hey. I don't want to even hit the button because it's I don't really feel like it's worth my time in a lot of ways. So,
I don't know. You know, it's funny because I listened to. You can tell we've done no show prep.
We have a
today.
ton of topics. We'll get to them.
We'll get to them. I listened to Terms. It's a fictional. They created a fictional scenario.
Sure.
It's good. It's political.
All right.
But each episode was only sometimes like 14, 15 minutes.
I'll never hit the button.
Oh, it's really good.
I don't know why. I just know I need. That's what I mean. I've told people this. Like I don't know why in the world they'd ask me, but I've done some podcast consulting and stuff, and I go just for my own personal whatever. Anything less than about 25 minutes, I have no interest in. If it's not about 25 minutes, I don't feel like there's a commitment to hit the button.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Mentally.
If you like political thriller type things, Terms is really good.
Okay. So you were in Fayetteville on Saturday. You got back in one piece before snowpocalypse hit or didn't hit. I have no idea what happened.
I think they got hit pretty hard because the U of A has a late start today.
Okay. By the way, thoughts with everybody in Alabama with the tornado stuff over the weekend. Just devastation from the photos and videos and things I saw. So if you're over there, take care of yourself somewhere in that
23 fatalities.
Area. So where are we at now? I didn't see a number past 14.
23 fatalities in Lee County.
More in that one county in one day than in the United States as a whole last year in 2018 from a tornado.
Apparently situation. It just went right through a very populated area.
I saw a very dense area was where it was. So Ole Miss, Arkansas, and look, everybody knows what happened. Let's kind of get to the point to the end that matters as we kind of recap this thing a little bit. Then we'll look ahead.
Well, they tipped it off.
They tipped it off, man. Then they went down, and it was 4-2. Reminds me of a past radio show where a guy just read the media guide every day. No, true story. You didn't hear it, so I'm happy to tell you. Anyway, sorry, I'm in a mood today. I don't know.
You have no idea.
Yeah. So anyway, there at the end, Ole Miss has a lead again. It looked a lot like it did on Wednesday against Tennessee.
3-point lead in the final minute.
Did not play very well down the stretch, except defensively was where really it just kicked them in most of the second half. But
I didn't think they played particularly well all day. But go ahead.
The play that everybody's talking about. The play that is videos on rebelgrove.com if you'd like to see it again for some reason.
Did you think I did a bad thing by putting the video up, by the way?
Well, no, because not everybody was watching the end of the game.
I knew it was going to be the
There was
topic.
a baseball game going on at the same time.
Well, and it was one of those Saturdays where we're back into it now. And this is what was going through my mind. There are a lot of people, like Carson had soccer in Memphis. There were a lot of people who had either their kids had a baseball tournament or a soccer tournament or I'm sure a softball tournament or whatever.
And you had a pretty good angle to it right there.
Yeah, it was right in front of me.
Yeah, good angle. So,
I knew it would be discussed. I'm like, well, so let's put up the video so when people are discussing it, and instead of me getting 400 questions of what happened, here's
what happened.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So Arkansas hits two big shots, the second of which basically kind of a prayer, frankly, but it went in. It was a little up and under thing.
He kissed it pretty high off the backboard.
Yeah, it was not the most precious of shots.
No, it wasn't the best look in the world, but he got a lane to the basket, which is the unforgivable part for Ole Miss. I mean, I'm sorry, but when you look at that film, and I've watched it, Devontae Shuler and Terrence Davis.
Open area, just go.
You can't quit on a play like that.
So timeout's called. Ole Miss has 6.9 seconds, I believe.
5.9.
Okay, good.
5.9.
5.9 seconds, having to go the length of the floor. And they have Tyree inbound the ball to Dom.
Basically at the free throw line.
Yeah.
Not the free throw line closest. The free throw line closest to the Arkansas basket.
Still 85 feet from the basket, 80 feet from the basket. And help me here because I know nothing about basketball. I admit that daily. When I watched it live, I went, oh, my God, that's the worst thing I've ever seen for an end-of-game play. And as I've talked to some people, because, full disclosure, I'm in the Ole Miss baseball press box. It's me talking with Nick Suss and Nathaniel Gabler of the Eagle.
Okay.
And we're all sort of trying to figure it out. And they said, well, the goal was to get it back to Tyree or whoever, probably on a free release and this kind of thing. And I said, okay. And I heard Kermit's postgame, and again, I don't know. But help me here.
Okay.
I don't know what Dom was supposed to do because a lot of people criticizing Ole Miss, and he can't help his physical demeanor. I thought the way Arkansas defended it, they denied the release, and once that happened, he was kind of in no man's land. I really don't understand how that comes back to Dom on Saturday.
Yeah, so the play is designed to inbound the ball to Olenichik.
Okay.
And to immediately, after you throw the pass to him, to cut, to take it on a handoff.
To be going.
And go in full speed, basically.
Yeah.
So if the play works the way it's designed to work.
Brean's racing down the court.
Brean's probably in the front court with 4 seconds left, where he could drive all the way to the basket or distribute to someone for a shot. Now, I'm convinced Arkansas knew it was coming because they defended it perfectly.
They did.
They bracketed Brean, which meant that there was an Arkansas player between Brean and Dom, so a handoff was not possible because he would have been handing it off to the Arkansas kid. So then Dom turns. I'm sure that what he's supposed to do in that situation is turn, and because you can do math, if there are 3 Arkansas guys in the front court, that means there's only 2 in the back.
So throw it to somebody.
So someone's going to be open. But he panicked and waited for Brean to come back, and by then he could have gotten it to him, y'all, and it wouldn't have mattered. But he threw it away. I don't know why Dom gets blamed. He is who he is. Try not to just do this and just. I thought Kermit. No, I'm not going to say it. It's not worth saying. He was frustrated. Post-game, people can be frustrated. I thought Dom was given more blame than he should have been given. It was what it was. But here's the thing. And I had this conversation. Carson and I were talking about not this game, but we were talking about games in general yesterday. I can't remember what we were watching.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, in my business, I end up writing a whole lot about the last few seconds of games. That game was not decided in the final minute. It was not decided in the final 6 seconds or in the final 20 seconds. When you, as a defense, allow a team to shoot 55.1% from the floor, just hear me out, 27 of 49 shots made for Arkansas.
Okay.
You allow a team to shoot 9 for 18 from 3. They're getting open threes. Ole Miss gets its ass kicked if Arkansas makes free throws. Arkansas was 11 of 20 at the free throw line.
Ooh.
When you get on the other side, Ole Miss committed 16 turnovers. Arkansas committed 13. Ole Miss did win the glass 30-21.
Arkansas only got 21 rebounds all day.
Arkansas only had 4 offensive rebounds the entire game. Of course, some of that's because they're making all their shots. Can't rebound a made bucket. Yeah. But points in the paint was even, 34-34. Points off turnovers, basically even. Arkansas won 13-12. Second chance points, Ole Miss won 13-8. Fast break points, 8-8.
Okay.
But when you give up that sort of shooting percentage and you commit that many turnovers, you're going to have a difficult time winning the game.
And they had that 8-point lead and couldn't extend it to kind of put it away right there where Arkansas probably goes in the tank.
Yeah. Take an 8-point lead, make it a 16-point lead, and the damn game's over. Because most of the people that were there that day were there to honor the 94 team. And they would have left after halftime. But instead, Ole Miss let them back in it. It was a 1-point Ole Miss lead at the half. They did a really nice job, Arkansas did, of honoring their 94 team. And they stayed, and they cheered, and the second half was a seesaw match. Mm-hmm. But Ole Miss can't get stops. Here's the part that, for me, is mind-boggling. Forget the Olenichik thing and whether Kermit did or did not overly criticize him. Whatever. If I'm an Ole Miss fan, here's what bothers me. Why is my team not playing harder on the defensive end? Now, I will contend, and I've said this consistently all year, I don't think this is a good defensive team. I don't think it's a particularly talented defensive team. They're not talented defensively in the post at all. It's a problem. But in the first half, everybody had 2 fouls. I remember tweeting me trying to be funny or entertaining myself up there because I'm sitting by myself where I'm sitting. There's no one near me. And I tweeted, Terrence Davis now has 2 fouls. Everyone has 2 fouls. You have 2 fouls. I have 2 fouls. We all have 2 fouls. Everyone had 2 fouls. They're committing all these fouls in the first halves of games, and he's having to manage fouls to halftime every game. And it prevents them from getting into any flow at all, especially when you combine that with he uses the bench as a disciplinary tool throughout the game. You make a bad screw up, come to the bench. Bad screw up, come to the bench. Stupid screw up, come to the bench. Combine that with everyone's got fouls and we're trying to manage this, and they just were out of kilter. Okay. But with the game on the line, Jalen Harris, for all the knocks on Ole Miss, what Arkansas wanted to do in that last possession was get the ball to Gafford. God, he's a good player. 7 of 9 from the floor. 3 of 8 from the free throw line. If he ever becomes a free throw shooter, he's
because he started 1 of 6, then hit the 2 in a row late.
Hit the 2 big ones late. But he only had 2 rebounds.
Wow.
But Olenicik made a really good defensive play in those final seconds that took Gafford out of the play. So Jalen Harris, the play breaks down, and he's trying to get rid of it. This team has lost 6 in a row. They did not play with any confidence. He's trying to get the ball to Isaiah Joe. He's trying to get rid of it. He doesn't want the shot. They got the other dude, Gabe Osabian, or however you say his name. He was 1 for 4, had 2 points, played 19 minutes. He was out there. He didn't want the ball. But Isaiah Joe sort of turned an ankle and jumps out of the play, what appears to be in pain. And 2 Ole Miss players basically quit on the play. And he just drives to the bucket. Yeah, he threw it up and he got lucky, but he had an open lane to the basket. And Olenicik had to come help. So if it doesn't go in, Gafford's right there for the rebound. Mm-hmm. The game is decided there, not on a broken inbounds play. Play defense. It's weird. This team is right there on the cusp of an NCAA tournament bid. They might already have one. We'll talk about that in a minute. They're right there on the cusp of an NCAA tournament bid twice this past week, and they can't make a stop. 3 defensive possessions where if they make one stop, they win at least one of those games. Didn't make a stop. Tennessee had 2 possessions in the final 33 seconds where Tennessee had to score, Chase. Had to score or else they lose, and they scored.
Yeah, converted both of them.
And also in the final minute of the last 2 games, Ole Miss had possessions where if you score, you probably win. And they went over. And you're questioning effort? In March? What does that say? It's the part that blew me away. Terrence Davis didn't play because he had a bad Friday practice. Apparently Friday's practice was just awful. I don't get it. That part floors me. I'll be honest. I have no idea what to expect tomorrow night. I know this. Kentucky got railroaded out of Tennessee.
Just popped.
My guess is that
they'll kind of folded about halfway through the game, frankly.
My guess is that Sunday and Monday practices in Lexington are not fun. My guess is they'll show up with their hair on fire. It's my guess. I could be wrong. I don't know their deal.
I mean, frankly, they played like crap 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Because Arkansas had them beat.
Arkansas should have won.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to expect, but I'll tell you this. As we transition into the what's next, Ole Miss has 2 games this week. My opinion, they better win one. Might not have to win one, but you want to feel good about life? Win one. Win one and you're in. Absolutely no doubt in my mind that if Ole Miss either beats Kentucky or Missouri, they're going to be in the NCAA tournament when they get to Nashville. Lose them both? And I'm telling you, man, who knows?
Maybe not, but at that point you've done it to yourself.
You lose them both and then lose on Thursday in Nashville? Be easy to send you home after 5 straight losses.
We'll talk about that in 1 second. For the update about scripted jewelry, scriptedjewelry.com. Personalize the sentimental gift for that special someone in your life. Shop, sizing guides, abouts, lookbooks, frequently asked questions, and even showing you who purchased what recently there at the website. Just go see it, and you will find something you like, something you know that person you're shopping for will like as well. You can customize it. You can put your script, your favorite message in your own handwriting to that person using scriptedjewelry.com. Turnaround times are fantastic, and you can save some money with Rebels 10, REBELS10 at checkout for 10% off. Again, scriptedjewelry.com.
My 10 weekend thoughts are up on rebelgrove.com. It's part of the Rivals Network. There's a community discussion about those thoughts, about some of Chase's thoughts, about all sorts of people's thoughts. You can join that discussion by joining rebelgrove.com. A subscription is less than the cost of lunch at almost anywhere. And we'd love to have you. rebelgrove.com, part of the Rivals Network. My 10 Thoughts are sponsored by Harry Alexander. Harry is an Oxford-based RE/MAX Legacy Realty agent. He's been in Oxford more than 4 decades. No one knows the residential and condo market in Oxford better than Harry. Go to his site. He'll prove it to you. HarryAlexander.com. Click on the Properties and Neighborhoods tab. Filter through by what you're looking for, then send him an email. It's HA@HarryAlexander.com. Guest will join us this week on the Patterson and Earhart hotline. Patterson and Earhart specialize in personal injury law, real estate law, but theirs is a general practice that can handle any of your legal needs. When you contact Patterson and Earhart, you speak to one of the partners in the firm, and that's who will handle your case, not some paralegal at a faceless corporate firm. If Patterson and Earhart can't help you, they'll refer you to someone who can. John Calvin Patterson and Wes Earhart are Ole Miss guys. They're local guys, and when you call them, you're going to get one of them on the phone within the same day, guaranteed. So whether you've been injured in a car wreck or have other legal issues, give them a call at 662-526-1992 or check out their website, pelaws.com. Your initial consultation is free. My column from Fayetteville and this podcast also sponsored by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust, based in Madison, Mississippi, represents clients in 24 states, has advisors in 3 states. It was founded in 1997. Pinnacle Trust provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. Pinnacle Trust, they treat investment like a commodity, and decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan. Cookie-cutter financial planners put you in a box. Pinnacle Trust builds a box just for you. To learn more about Pinnacle Trust, go to pintrust.com. That's PINN trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fee.
Podcast is brought to you by Mastercuts Lawn and Landscape, 662-607-7773, mastercutslawn.com, or you get a free quote by email if you'd like, info@gomastercuts.com. Take care of basic yard maintenance for all of 2019. Once it warms up, you'll need that. Weed eating, edging, mowing, and more. Also takes care of flower beds or building whatever structure you'd like, from custom playgrounds to fences, decks, and more. Again, Mastercuts, 662-607-7773. Yeah, you led 10 Thoughts last night with some thoughts from Jerry Palm, if you will. The bubble, even relative to bad bubbles, is horrid this year.
Yeah, I mean, the bubble's always kind of bad because
it's a bubble. That's the point.
It's mediocre teams.
Yeah, it's the teams with warts all over them.
Yeah.
But now there are just boils everywhere.
Yeah, they're all like pus coming out of them.
I don't know what the deal is. Well, some of it is that, like we've talked about, high majors are getting much more benefit of the doubt compared to mid majors. Although history would tell you, there's stats to back this up, the mid-majors have fared much better in the tournament play than the high majors that barely get in over the years.
A lot of teams are getting high rankings in the net because of schedule.
Yes.
The leagues have figured out, hey, play games.
It's looking more – and I don't know the reasons for this. I have no idea. There's probably a reason for this. It looks more almost like a baseball tournament selection bracket than a basketball, where the high majors cannibalize the rankings from a schedule standpoint, where they just keep building on each other, and it's impossible to knock them down because they're just playing one another, and they just sit here. Makes it so hard for that mid-major.
People have figured out the importance of don't go stack 22 wins just for the sheer hell of it. Go play people. And if you lose, it's okay. It's okay to lose quadrant 1 games.
Doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't hurt you a bit.
Yeah. So Palm thinks they might already be in, thinks they're in for sure with 1 win.
Yes.
But acknowledges, look, you go over, you're going to be sweating. I mean, because then you get into the tournament deal. And look, there are going to be upsets in every tournament. Not every tournament, every year in a lot of tournaments. I mean, you can be the 5th team in going into tournament week and be out by the time we get to Sunday. So go win a game.
I mean,
you get another free shot on Tuesday against Kentucky. Beat them. Arkansas almost did it at Rupp, so do it.
Yeah, when the 6th seed wins the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, that's a bid loss.
That's a bid loss.
And then on Saturday, you're playing a team that has been a disaster for most of the year.
I'll give you an example.
What?
Here's an example.
Sure.
Memphis wins the AAC at home.
Because it's at the Forum.
Because Memphis right now is not in the tournament.
No.
Their net's like 55.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis isn't in the tournament today. But if
you
Memphis
told me they won the American, I wouldn't be shocked.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
And that means that they steal a bid.
Because Cincinnati's in.
Yeah. They steal a bid.
Somebody else is probably in, too. Out of the conference. Houston, they're in.
Yeah. Maybe Central Florida.
Yeah.
So they steal a bid. Bids will be stolen.
Bid thieves.
I mean, there will be tournament upsets because that's why the tournaments are played. Middle Tennessee last year got knocked off.
So Missouri hadn't played well at all. They don't have Jonte Porter all season. It's completely changed their team. They did pop Carolina the other day.
They did. Now, Carolina's coming to earth a little bit.
They are.
But, look, Missouri's going to play hard.
There's something about senior days on these basketball arenas, and I don't know why.
You and I had this conversation yesterday. Just it's for whatever reason. In fact, one of these years, I'm just going to go take senior days and put like $10 on every home team.
Across the country?
It's cross country. And I bet I end up making a minimal amount of money.
Yeah.
I bet I don't lose. Just put $10 on every senior day.
Okay.
I'll get 60%. They're going to play hard. They're going to play hard for some senior that's on that team. I'll tell you what it is. It's that little guard that lit Ole Miss up in Oxford. I can't think of his name right now. Be his last game. I dare say he's not playing in the NBA. So he's going to play super hard. They're going to have their hands full. Now, it's Ole Miss's senior day tomorrow night. There's 3 seniors on this team, and they all play. They all play a lot.
So can Ole Miss find it for a night?
Because if you can find it and you beat Kentucky,
who gives a crap?
Whose net is 5, hell, you can send a note to Columbia going, we decided not to come, and you're still in.
Ole Miss went 0-2 on the week and went from 38 to 37 in the net.
Yeah, the bubble's bad, and they played 2 good bubble teams. I mean, they played 2 good net teams.
Still no losses outside Quadrant 2 and only 1 loss in Quadrant 2. There's the irony of the Arkansas game is that moved Arkansas up and up where they became a Quadrant 1 team if you played them on the road.
Yes.
Their only Quadrant 2 loss is Carolina.
That's it. Now, Missouri would be a Quadrant 2 loss.
It would. They're at 88 this morning.
Yeah. Kentucky still 5?
Kentucky is 5. That is correct. Tennessee is 4.
Yeah. LSU 13?
Let's see. 13.
13.
Yep. That is correct. The net, here's an example, kind of dovetailing all this back to each other.
Okay.
We talked about how it's changed with net. It changed a little last year, but even more so this year. If Ole Miss was still having to count on RPI, they'd probably be out right now. RPI is 53 this morning.
Yeah,
Net's 37, RPI is 53.
So Ole Miss should send a letter to the
just saying. I mean,
to the rules committee saying thank you.
I mean, it's interesting.
53 RPI and they'd be out.
They've lost 10 spots in the RPI since February 24th. RPI punishes more than the net does when you lose. Don't know why. Not my deal. But
not me either.
Interesting.
I'm a geek, but I'm not that big of a geek.
I have no math skills at all. I had a hard time adding up innings last night. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting, but
Carson's really, really good at math, and every time he comes home with really good math stuff, he's taking advanced math and all that. Every time he comes back with really high math scores, I'm like, "There's something you need to tell me."
I'll have no chance to do her homework by the 4th grade.
That's about right. Carson's in the.
I would have to teach myself to do 4th grade homework.
Oh, I'm there in the 6th grade. I've had to Google some stuff.
Have you really?
Yeah, and kind of refresh my memory. Let's just say that at Ruston High School, taking advanced math wasn't something that we all really focused on. And at ULM, I mean, you can count to 5. That's good enough.
Ole Miss 4-9 overall against Quadrant 1. That's 1-4 at home. That's the baffling stat of this.
There you go.
2-4 on the road, 1-1 neutral, and then 1-3 in the non-con. So, again, win a game. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to be amazed by their effort, what it looks like on Tuesday night, what Kentucky looks like on Tuesday night. What's
your gut feeling? Who comes out and plays like their hair's on fire?
I think both teams play well Tuesday.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I think Ole Miss isn't going to get run out of the building. But I think Ole Miss will have to, instead of holding on, make a spurt in the final 5 minutes to win this game Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky has like a 5-point lead at the last media timeout.
Oof. Something
like that. That's my guess. A couple possessions. Can you make a run? Can you get a stop? Can you know how this works? It always comes back to your flaws. Their flaws are starting the game poorly, coming out of the second half poorly, for something about out of the locker room, and then the last 5 minutes. So
they did it again on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
started okay on Saturday, built a lead. They just take dumb shots sometimes, and then turn the ball over.
Freak out.
Yeah, they freak out. Yeah. Only went to the free throw line 11 times.
Not enough.
And I thought the game was officiated okay. I really did. I mean, there's no flow in the first half. They're calling everything, but it is what it is. As I tweeted, the Arkansas fans were bitching about the officials the entire time, which begs the question, who doesn't?
Everyone hates the officials now.
Yeah. The SEC officiating has not been good. But as SEC officiating went, it was fine the other night.
I think the answer is, because you have the money, hire your own officials. Quit sharing officials with other conferences. Just hire your own officials.
Hire your own people, preferably not from around here.
Pay them whatever the heck you pay them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do that.
Yeah. They can call other games during the preseason, but when the season rolls around, they call SEC games.
Yeah. Stalt.
Yeah.
Don't know. Let's see. We got baseball coming off a 4-0 week. They stayed number 10 in the polls for whatever that you want to make that out to be.
Has nobody been fired yet?
No one's been fired. No.
What are we waiting on?
No one's been cut.
Any trades?
That would be fun. Trades would be fun. They should allow trades.
Any waiver wires? Anything? I mean, anything. I need transactions. Because look. Saturday they gave up runs. And this is fast becoming obvious that they need to trade for a pitcher.
Yeah, I got a couple things here. And again, you can get a lot more baseball content. I talked for about 35 minutes on a video chat last night. You can go to our YouTube page. You can go to our message board. You can see that.
You twitched.
I twitched, bro. I did. Got a lot of questions. Did about 35 minutes last night. So,
what do you do for lighting? Because Jay makes fun of my lighting. Do you have good lighting on your Twitch room?
It's got to get better. I put a lamp. I turn all the lights in the room on, and then I put a lamp directly behind my computer.
Yeah.
That brightens the area, but doesn't create a shadow that bad for some reason. I don't know why. I'm at a disadvantage, even more so than you, because my walls in my office are kind of a dark green, so I don't pick up light from the walls. You know, Jay's got a very bright white wall behind him, so it sort of changes what he gets behind.
We have a painting party.
Have a painting party. That's the goal. So, Anyway, you can see that on the site at rebelgrove.com and a lot of other places, but a lot of baseball. A couple things I will point out, though, today. First, look, Long Beach State's 0-10, which does mean you're grading on a curve somewhat because 0-10 is not very good. It doesn't take a rocket scientist for that one. However, they're not 0-10 bad. 6 of their losses are to Ole Miss and Florida. 4 of the 6 games against those teams were competitive and to some extent could have gone either way. Now, you should never get swept by Nevada and they lost to midweek or something. Also, they get so hung up in West Coast baseball that even though their lineup is not built to bunt, they bunt constantly. They just play small ball over and over and over and over again. And when Ole Miss has a lot of athletes on the mound, and when their catcher is one of the best defensive catchers in the country, bunting over and over and over again is kind of stupid, especially with no one on base just for the heck of it. You're giving away outs. I'm not a huge analytics guy, but I can tell you right now that their bunting does not fit their offense at all. They do pitch it. I thought they really pitched it pretty well. I thought Ole Miss offensively got into some funks, but they scored a lot of runs at the end of the day and into the weekend. I think that I think where everybody's got to kind of gauge back a little bit is while this offense has been fantastic this year, just because they don't score in like 4 innings in a row doesn't mean the sky's falling. There's gonna be games and stretches where you don't score runs, so chill out a little bit.
No, I mean I disagree. I think if you don't score 2 to 3 runs every inning, something's going wrong, and that you should fire the hitting coach.
Even 1 run an inning is not really acceptable at times.
Not in my book. I mean, this is a team that this is a group that was recruited to score runs. This is their junior year, and they should start scoring the damn runs.
Okay.
For anybody who doesn't know, I'm completely being facetious. I think this is going to be a really good baseball team. I've thought that all year. That's why I'm having fun right now.
We had the same conversation last week. I'll pose it to you again. Would you have thrown the ball to Thomas Dillard right there on Saturday afternoon?
No.
Do you know the situation?
Yes.
Okay.
I would roll.
There's no one on base. There's 1 out in the inning. It's tied at 6. And I don't mind pitching to him carefully. He got behind 3-0. And decided, okay, I got to get back in this at bat. I'm just going to throw an 86-mile-an-hour fastball right across the middle of the plate. It was incredibly stupid.
You had to know he had the green light. He probably had the greenest light anyone has ever seen. It was like neon green.
Now, Mike should have been fired had he given him a take sign there.
Yes.
Yes.
But Mike was doing the green light sign.
It's so stupid. Put him on first base and pitch to the next dude, whomever the next dude is.
Yeah. Oh, don't even throw a ball anywhere near the plate. Do you have to throw the 4 pitches, or can you just put him on like they do in the bigs?
You can just put him on.
Oh my God! Save the dude.
But I'm talking about once it got 3-0 because
I'm talking about once it got 0-0.
Oh, so you don't even pitch to him at all?
No. Go to first base.
You put the winning run on.
Yeah. That if he's the winning run, yes.
Okay.
He can do much more damage with his bat. If I put him at first base, there's 1 out?
Yeah, there's 1 out already.
There's 1 out. If I put him at first base.
Maybe we roll 2. Maybe we do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a base-stealing threat much.
I mean, he can run, but he's not going to go first to third on you or whatever. They're not going to steal him.
Probably not stealing in that scenario.
No, probably
because
not.
if he's out, then
2 outs, nobody on, the inning's over.
So, yeah, they probably have to, they being Ole Miss. I'm looking at this from the Long Beach State perspective because I'm a huge Long Beach State fan. They have to probably do 2 things. Probably have to get a hit and then another hit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, all I got to do, maybe the next dude hits a ground ball to the shortstop. 6-4-3, next inning.
Yeah. And instead, it was, the definition out of a textbook of a get-me-over fastball. You could tell he just sort of laid off of it and floated that baby in there.
No.
And, like halfway to the plate, even people in the dress box are kind of ducking, going, oh, my God, and heck. And he did what you expect him to do with it and hit it out the yard.
Yeah, no, I don't pitch to him.
Yeah.
At some point, you're watching scouting reports. I'm going to tell you, when Alabama comes to town, is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah.
Thomas, I don't know if you're listening. If you are, you're having a great season. Congratulations. You're not getting pitched to.
Somebody you really think can hit, can take advantage of it, put him behind Dillard in the lineup.
Keenum's behind him, right?
They actually have had Keenan in front of him. I'd get him behind him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, whoever's behind him, you're going to get opportunities.
I talked about this on the thing last night. I would move Dillard to the 2-hole and then put Keenan in the 3-hole. That's what I would do.
Well, I'm a believer in put your best hitter in the 2-hole.
Yeah, I would go Dillard 2, Keenan 3, and then fill it in however you want to after that.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. I want him to get more at-bats.
As many as possible.
Yeah. I don't lead off with him, but I hit him second.
And then the other thing that I kind of want to mention is the pitching, look, has not been great. Will Etheridge has been fantastic when he's been in his 2 weeks. Blister's fine. He's okay. Moving forward. Phillips, he's been okay. And I say okay, not being overly negative or being overly positive. Just okay. He has a hard time getting ahead in the count at times. And then when he does get ahead in the count at times, he's having a hard time putting guys away. He's not consistent enough with his command to make what he's currently using as out pitches, if that makes sense.
Yes.
He's so wild that what should be an out pitch is just sort of out of the zone and is a non-factor. So I think he has the talent to pitch in the SEC. I think you've got to continue to make him comfortable and give him some options because you don't have a lot of other options right now from a starting pitching standpoint. It's still early. This team is going to be decided by their postseason situation, even if it takes 3 weeks of SEC play to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up on him. I'm still sticking with it, and I'm definitely sticking with Gunnar Hoagland. He looked much more comfortable on Saturday. Again, Long Beach State is a horrendous offensive baseball team, but Hoagland looked better. The command was sharper. Fastball had a little more life to it. The breaking ball was good, and the changeup continues to develop. I still think that's the pitch that's going to make him throughout his college career, and it was coming on. And, he's a freshman that might be a little fragile mentally because he's never had to deal with this before. Do not get him out of a role where you lose him mentally. Let him keep throwing the dang baseball.
Yeah, of course. Couldn't agree more.
So don't do anything stupid. And the bullpen has not been bad. The people you expected to be good in the bullpen have been bad. Completely different thing. Caracci has not been good. Houston Roth is still struggling with that shoulder. They've got to get him healthy. Mike admitted on Saturday that he just doesn't feel right.
Well, I told you when I first heard it, I heard he was out until SEC play.
Yeah. And frankly, he probably needs a week off, if you want to know the truth. He's still dealing with soreness there. I mean, he was 84 to 86 just because he couldn't. His mechanics were off.
Can't torque the way that you want to torque.
Yeah. So you got to get him healthy. Greer Holston is a non-factor right now. I don't know the reasoning. I don't know what's happened. I don't know why it's happened. But his fastball's in the low to mid 80s, and he can't pitch at this level with that velocity. So
No.
I don't know.
No.
Mike says he's not hurt. I don't know. Again, no clue. I'm not sure.
Well, given what you just said, you absolutely can't give up on your two freshmen. You need them. You've got to nurture them.
And when Roth gets healthy, he's going to be a good arm. He's going to get outs in the SEC.
He's probably going to be a weekend starter.
Yeah, he probably is. So the point being here is this is actually, in some ways, a good thing for Ole Miss right now because they're on pace record-wise, and they're getting contributions from guys.
They've lost 2 games.
Yeah, they're 8-2.
I mean, those 2 games.
Okay. Wright State to this point has beaten Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, and East Carolina, by the way. They're well on their way to a top 60 RPI at the end of the season. Just saying. But here's the good news for Ole Miss. I wrote about this. You can read it at rebelgrove.com last night. I published a story at 10 p.m. last night. I was awake and writing at 10 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was long gone by 10.
Austin Miller, Connor Green, junior college transfer Taylor Broadway, and freshman Doug Nikhazy. Those 4 dudes.
Okay.
Who we weren't really talking. We were talking about Nikhazy a little bit, but otherwise we weren't talking about those guys coming into the year at all. So far, or since February 16th, 28 bullpen innings, 2 runs. Those 4 combined.
Wow.
So you have a chance down the road. Some of these other guys figure it out. The guys that you thought were proven commodities suddenly got a pretty dang deep bullpen here.
You're clearly concerned about Holston. Are you concerned about Caracci? From what you've seen, just looking at his stuff?
The velocity's good.
Okay.
Job 1.
Yeah.
Concern is probably the right word. I wouldn't be panicked if I'm Ole Miss.
Okay.
I wouldn't be freaked out. But he doesn't look like he trusts his breaking ball. I think he threw 1 breaking ball to 4 batters on Saturday. He walked 3, and the other one was a sacrifice bunt.
That was my question. Is he
The command is everywhere.
Yeah.
All over the place. And given that the command is everywhere, you probably got to be a tick even up on velocity where he is to be at all effective. I mean, if you're going to have some crazy command, I'd much rather you be 95, 96 than 91, 92, 93. And you just got to throw strikes. I mean, he's never going to be this guy that consistently punches in 97, 98 mile-an-hour fastballs. So he's got to pitch. Can't just throw. And no, concern is not about him finding a way to help the team. That's not it. I do think he's going to get outs and pitch innings this season. And I think Mike is slowly trying some people and figuring this out. I think the biggest factor is if he's not going to be your number one closer, figure that out as early as possible to figure out who he is. That's the key for Ole Miss, is to get him in the right role if it's not, okay, he's what he was at the start of last season. Because if it's Nikhazy, if it's Ryan Olenek, hell, I don't know, whoever it is, get him there now and let's figure that out. That's what I think
you brought the name up.
Yeah.
I've joked about it in the past. The following is not a joke question. It's me asking.
Okay. Tease it when you go to break.
Okay. When we come back from the break, Chase will tell us whether Ryan Olenek has a legitimate role potentially in Ole Miss's bullpen.
It's a very radio thing there, wasn't it?
Now a word from Sears.
Yeah. Refrigerators on sale for the holidays. Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, DeSoto County, and Chattanooga. All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. They're getting local underwriting and understands your market, a leader in condo financing, and that float-down option, which allows you to lock in the current rate. But if rates go down before you close, you just get the lower rate. 662-234-2704 or JLOWE, JLOWE, at communitymtg.com.
The podcast is also brought to you in part by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you've been thinking about that golf trip with the guys this summer, maybe an anniversary trip, maybe you've dreamed of playing at St. Andrews, heading to Paris, London, whatever the case may be, whatever you're planning for this summer, this fall, Christmas time, get in touch with John. He's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits that are simply not available to other travelers. What you do is you give him a call, whether you're going to Pebble Beach or Napa or wherever, and you give him some parameters, you give him a budget, and you let him give you options that you will not find on your own. And no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send him an email at jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients save $50 off their first book trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. Grenada Nissan is located just off Interstate 55 in Grenada, Mississippi. They have a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Go in, test drive one today. Tell Gene and Sandy that you heard about Grenada Nissan on the podcast, and you'll get Rebel savings on top of the already great deals at Grenada Nissan. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home and all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. When you call OUB, you speak directly with the live person, all without having to press 10 buttons, without a 5-minute wait. OUB offers its customers the absolute best cash checking account. It's called Kasasa, and with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000. And with Kasasa, ATM fees nationwide are refunded. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more about OUB, check out liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
Podcast also brought to you by Blow Dry Bar, Oxford, 1801 Jackson Avenue, 10 to 6, Tuesday to Friday, Saturday 10 to 3. Go in and check out the best new business in Oxford for 2018 last year. Again, 662-638-3310. You can go in, get a gift card for that lady in your life, or if you're a lady listening, take care of yourself. You get a discount when you mention rebelgrove.com, whether it's the ever-popular blowout or many, many more options. Again, my wife's taking advantage of it multiple times, and you should too. You can do that, again, 10 to 6, Tuesday to Friday, Saturday, 10 to 3. It's there on Jackson Avenue, 662-638-3310. So, the one inning we saw was the ninth inning against UT Martin when the game was well in hand. He said he was a little nervous, but the fastball played. It was up to 92, had some cut on it. The breaking ball appeared to have some late life, have some depth to it. It looked good. It definitely looked good enough that I want to see it again. I think Mike was prepared fully to go and put him in the ninth inning against Long Beach in the final game of the series on Saturday. He sent him to the bullpen in between innings to get loose. He appeared to get loose, but then Broadway just kind of finished it, and there was no need for another reliever there. the Dirtbags never threaten. But, yeah, I think it's legitimate. I think Mike's going to look at it again. I think he's going to look at it in the midweek. And this is more of a starting pitcher situation than what I'm going to say, but I think it might apply to Olenek too. Ole Miss gets a really good opportunity here. I like the way this schedule sets up because, yeah, you play Little Rock on Tuesday, which is a bye game, if you will, if you want to use a basketball term. But they've got East Carolina coming in on Wednesday night, a top 15 team in the country. They go to Louisville next Tuesday and Wednesday to play another very, very good ACC team. You get to simulate SEC games 3 times in the midweek. So let's pick some starters if you're Ole Miss. Pick some starters that might be that next guy if you have a problem in the rotation. Hardly ever do you pitch all 30 games with the same 3 dudes. So figure that out. If you want to see what a closer potentially looks like, use him here in these midweek games against these teams. Use these as simulations because – look, Tulane is not an upper-tier SEC team. Long Beach was horrid offensively. Wright State was probably the closest, if you want to be honest, from some of their lineup situations.
Yeah.
Use these games because if you lose them, who gives a crap? And you move on, but you can learn something from it. So I think this is an opportunity. Maybe give Caleb Hill a start. Maybe close Olenek in a close game just to see how he handles it.
See what it looks like.
Yeah, just throw some dudes out there. Experiment a little. Try to win the game, but play with it a little the next 2 weeks. I haven't seen it. Probably won't get announced till tomorrow morning. I'm really curious to see who his midweek starters are this week to see who he puts in an opportunity to throw against East Carolina on Wednesday.
All right, question, and I should know this.
Sure.
But I'm a National League guy more than I am an American League guy, so I don't know some of the rules.
Okay.
Olenek's out in the outfield.
He is.
You bring him in to pitch the 7th inning.
Sure.
Just for kicks and giggles.
Okay.
You put him back out in right field after the 7th inning.
Yeah.
Do you lose the DH in that?
You do.
Okay.
The AL becomes the NL.
Okay.
Whoever you put into the outfield to replace Olenek.
Gotcha.
Or whoever you brought into the game to replace Olenek, they go into the pitcher spot in the order or the DH spot in the order,
and
if
so
you will.
when the pitcher comes in to
Olenek will obviously stay in his spot in the batting order.
Right.
But, yes, you will lose a DH, and everyone in the field at that point must hit.
Gotcha.
So when he goes back to center, you're putting a pitcher into that DH spot.
So, frankly, if you're going to use Olenek out of the bullpen, you want to use him preferably as a closer.
Yeah, where you don't have to deal with that crap
so that you don't have to hit Parker Karachi in that.
Well, and it's the good news about Ole Miss is they've got a pretty good deep bench offensively, and they've got some infielders that kind of play everywhere. So they could manage those late innings a little better than some teams could to just keep pinch hitting and keep throwing dudes in and figure it out.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think they could – they're set up to certainly survive one trip through the order.
Okay.
After Olenek goes into the game. Now, anything after that for anybody's a crapshoot with a 25-man roster, or 27-man roster. But nonetheless, yeah, I think it's –
so my question's not as stupid as I thought it was.
No. And he did well enough. It was okay. It really wasn't bad.
Those strikes?
Oh, yeah. He threw, I think, 13 pitches, 9 strikes. 92.
It's a thought.
Run it up there a
little
little bit.
It's a thought.
I mean, you don't do anything that takes away from his offense or his outfield, but
I've seen people do it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, there's some major league teams that are starting to flirt with it.
Well, and see, that was another here's a thought while we're in this conversation.
Yeah.
Ole Miss has 2 other guys on the roster, not even counting Hoagland, who's going to be a starter, that are two-way players. So you, in theory, could even put them into pitch and just let them hit.
That's a thought.
Like Casey can hit and Broadway can hit. So you actually could just let some dudes hit. You could bring Casey in and just play like a National League team. Let him hit.
That's interesting.
It is. Makes it more fun. Let's get something kind of.
Well, look, I mean, all joking. I know I joke a lot because I think it's. I think again, if I'm wrong in June, I'll own it. I think this is going to be a really good baseball team, and so I'm having some fun with some of the skies falling when they're playing in 38-degree weather.
I mean, Florida's losing midweek games everywhere, and Tennessee's unbeaten. So the Vols are going to Omaha, and Florida sucks. That's where we are after 3 weekends.
Well, has Florida fired its coach yet?
They have not fired Kevin
Why not?
Sullivan. Texas swept LSU over the weekend.
Oh, I'd so fire Paul Maneri.
And now,
today.
in all seriousness, LSU. I thought this going in. I said this maybe in a Twitch chat, maybe here. I don't remember. I thought LSU was overrated start of the year.
You did.
Offensively, they had some pieces that didn't make a lot of sense. They have a lot of really good hitters, but it's not a very cohesive lineup at all. And then pitching-wise, you were counting on Zach Hess, who's a converted closer that it's been fine but gets erratic at times. He was very erratic on Friday night in Austin. you're dealing with a true freshman. The Ole Miss is dealing with the same thing. You got some issues there at times just because they're true freshmen. And then Eric Walker, who's coming back from major Tommy John surgery, Kendall Rogers tweeted last night that he was 81 to 84, topping at 85 on Sunday. Not a good sign.
Ooh.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So LSU, you got pitching problems all of a sudden. You got problems. So
we got into Fayetteville like at 5:30.
Okay.
And Campbell wanted to eat something before she went to the thing she was going to. And so I walked over to this barbecue place next door to where we were staying to get her carryout. In Arkansas, the baseball game was on TV. I can't remember for the life of me who they were playing. It was really cold. I remember looking at it. Stony Brook. They were playing Stony Brook.
Really?
It was really cold. I don't know how they did. The game was like tied in the 7th or 8th inning. My question was, how are they doing?
Arkansas. Oh, okay. Arkansas is 9-1 on the season.
Okay.
They have a loss to Southern California, USC. They went out to USC and took 2 or 3 in LA.
I'm a big Arkansas fan. I don't know if you've heard that on the board now.
They beat Stony Brook 3-1, 4-3, and 15-7. So you saw the 4-3 game probably.
No, I was watching the 3-1 game.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
they were both on Friday, so I didn't know.
They played a doubleheader on Friday. Okay, yeah, then I don't know. I saw one of the Friday games.
Okay.
And when I say I saw it, I mean it was on in the bar while I was waiting for food.
In all seriousness, this is one of my favorite SEC things, especially in the SEC West, that has to be so confusing to outsiders is they go into sports bars and college baseball is on every TV. Yeah. They're like, what in the hell is going on here? Yeah. And it's like, hey, can I get this TV turned? No, you cannot get that TV turned.
Yeah, they had Arkansas and Stony Brook on, and all I remember thinking, because I wasn't watching. I mean, I looked up and saw a play here and there, but God, I knew how cold it was because I had just walked from the hotel to the bar, and I was like, man, can you imagine? All I could remember thinking was I was watching the pitcher get blowing on his hand. I'm like, dude, it's too late. Your hand's frozen.
Well, and that was somebody tweeted at me. It was an honest question because I didn't pack for this, and I didn't know it before I went out there last year. They said, hey, is Long Beach bothered by the cold? And I went, no, this is warm. They get that dang marine layer off the water out there, and it is frigid in L.A. early in the year like this.
The one thing I did laugh at this the 2 times I remember kind of looking up because it took forever to get the food.
Yeah.
And they told me off the bat it would be we're slammed and our kitchen's backed up. I'm like, it's okay. The Kerstad kid.
Yeah.
Every time I looked up, he's at second base.
He's good.
He's always at second base.
Yeah. He and Casey Martin quite good.
Like, he's so good that if I'm watching or in the stadium, whoever's playing Arkansas should just put him on.
If you're just into sort of chaos from a division standpoint, the SEC West this year might be your year for you because LSU has holes everywhere. I don't care what they're ranked.
Yeah.
Ole Miss has got to figure some things out. Arkansas is good. Arkansas, they lost a lot, but they've got enough back if some arms come around to where I really kind of like them. State has figured some things out. They're good. And then the rest of the SEC or even the West, there's frontline starters that are SEC Pitcher of the Year type guys on those teams where they could win a lot of Friday nights. Suddenly you're having to kind of back-end series to even get them. I mean, you got Doxakis at A&M. You got Tanner Burns at Auburn. Both really, really stud guys. So I just don't think anybody gets to 20 wins in the SEC out of the West. I think this thing's won at 18-12, 17-13. Something like that. Ole Miss and LSU get the huge benefit of not playing Vanderbilt on their schedule. So kind of still look at the favorites. That might be a reason why, but nonetheless, this division's kind of fun. Let's see. Anything else for baseball? I don't guess so. Again, you can watch the chat from last night. I went over a lot more stuff than this in a lot more detail. So it is there. It's on YouTube. It's on the site. It's on Twitch, wherever you'd like to pick up your videos. All right, worth doing this before we go to the next break. Go ahead. DK Metcalf lit up the body fat percentage, the 40 time. A lot of
his 40 was incredible.
It was incredible.
His 40 was incredible. We can talk about a lot of different things. We can talk about his jumps, and we can talk about a lot of stuff. But let's get right down to the bottom line, like you did with basketball.
Yeah.
When a human being who looks like that
6'4", 228.
When a human being who looks like that runs the 40-yard dash in 4.33 seconds, there's really nothing else to say. We're kind of done.
The overlays where they showed his 40 against the other dude's 40s who are pretty quick was the most fascinating thing I saw all day.
Here's what would have been most fascinating. Take that thing and make it a 60-yard dash. Because that cat was going to run the next 20 yards in about a second.
Oh, so you think he would have set some baseball records if we were doing some 60 times?
Did you see that? And here's the other thing.
So you think he – I mean, no, I'm being serious.
No, I'm being totally serious.
You think he would have flirted with 6 flat?
Yes. You want to doubt me?
No, I saw it.
He was accelerating. He starts that thing at – I know everyone does. I get it. And I'm not – how long have you known me? I very rarely go crazy about these things. Because it's just like, well, another dude ran. Look at his body. He's big, man. Like, normally guys that are built like that run 4.8s because it takes them longer to get everything moving.
Best 240s from what they look like standpoint both came out of Mississippi, he and Montez Sweat.
Yeah, Sweat's was incredible.
Sweat ran a 4.41.
Devin White's 4.44, whatever. 4.42 was amazing. Yeah.
He can play for me.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah.
But Metcalf, man.
27 bench press reps. The next 5 dudes are like 7, 9,
I know.
12, 11.
And he's like, yeah, I hit my chest in the wrong spot. And if you've ever bench pressed, then yes, I have. If you hit your chest wrong, it screws it up.
So he said he got screwed up a little bit.
Well, he says he screwed himself up because he hit the wrong. He missed a couple of reps, meaning he hit the wrong spot on his chest. You want to obviously, ideally.
So he got up from the bench pissed off he didn't hit 30.
Yeah, and he was mad at his vertical because he wanted to get 42, and he got 40.5. Dude jumped 40.5 inches with that body. Here's my point. Most people that are that big, they don't get up that high or whatever. They're just a big target.
Okay, look, some GM's fascinated. He made a lot of money. Yeah,
because and some safety right now is going, yeah, you remember my hamstring? I got a hamstring problem. I'm not getting in front of that.
Let's ask this. You worried about his cone and shuttle times? Very, very poor, side to side during the combine. How much does that impact everything else he did is my question.
What it does, in my opinion, and I'm not the greatest football expert ever, but I do.
We'll get somebody on to talk about this.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we will. Absolutely. I'm probably going to do it this week. Okay. What it does is it tells me, okay, maybe he's not a fit on every team.
Just takes one.
But he's a fit on a team that needs an outside receiver. He can run. He'll be able to run by corners.
And he'll block like a mofo out there.
Yeah, and is he going to ever – he's never – because of his size, he's never going to be the inside guy that's making 15 cuts on a route. But how often in the NFL do you have time for that anyway? But what he is that the corner route, the post route, the fade, nobody's going to want to deal with that. As big and strong as he is. Yeah, look, he eliminated any doubt. He will now go in the first round. He probably will go higher in the first round than we all ever thought he would go. I think Greg Little's going in the first round.
Greg Little had a good combine. A.J. Brown did everything he was supposed to do.
Yes, he ran in the 4.4s.
He's fine.
A.J.'s going to go in the first round. Dawson Knox, for a guy who's not – dude had hernia surgery. Yeah. I mean, I want everybody at home in podcast land to think about hernia surgery for a minute.
Probably not pleasant.
I mean, I think we can all agree, even if we don't like one another, that hurts. That there's probably discomfort in the immediate aftermath of hernia surgery. He looked really good. Yeah, I mean, Montez Sweat, DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, they walked out of Indianapolis going, I made coin. Montez Sweat made money.
They could go over to St. Elmo's that night feeling good about themselves.
They could order as much shrimp cocktail as they wanted.
We don't make fun of the NFL writers as much as we do the college writers because they do at least have a purpose for being there when they go to the steakhouse and put the shrimp cocktail on display.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at Kat Terrell the other day when she threw it up.
No.
We weren't doing mock selection shows at the St. Elmo's.
No, they're doing work.
Yeah, there's a reason there for that one. Well, and frankly, it's where all the dang GMs and everybody's at.
Yeah.
So you're mingling, you're doing your thing.
You're getting your job done because the off season's coming up. I mean, the draft and then the free agency, all that stuff.
Yeah. No, good week for all those guys. There's no doubt. All right, podcast brought to you in part by G&M Pharmacy and Tyson Drugs, South Lamar and Oxford. They deliver to your home or workplace. They also have MedSync to get you on schedule and make it easy for you to take all your different medications. I've been telling you for about a week and a half now about CBD oil. It is pharmaceutical grade. It's available in sublingual oil, soft gel capsules, or topical salves. It's an all-natural product. It helps maintain overall health and helps regulate many conditions such as depression, anxiety, pain, insomnia, and more. Studies show 43% of CBD users stop using traditional medicine and use cannabis instead. It is FDA approved. You don't have to worry about that. You can find out more when you call to move over those medications to G&M anyway. 662-236-2222.
Fresh off a weekend sweep, the Ole Miss baseball team returns to Swayze Field on Tuesday. They take on Little Rock at 4 p.m. and Wednesday versus East Carolina at 6:30 p.m. Kids 12 and under will receive free admission, and general admission tickets can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. The Ole Miss men's basketball team returns to the Pavilion on Tuesday for senior night as they take on the Kentucky Wildcats at 8 p.m. Limited tickets can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. The Ole Miss softball team back in action on Wednesday. They take on Austin Peay at 6 p.m. Admission is free. For more information, visit OleMissSports.com. And the Ole Miss women's tennis team returns home. They host Mississippi State on Sunday at 1 p.m. Admission is free. For more information, visit OleMissSports.com. Are you staying in Oxford during spring break? Need some help watching your child during that break? The Oxford Park Commission can help with its annual spring break day camp. Cost is $75 per child. It's open for ages 5 to 13. Drop-off is set for 7:30 a.m., pickup at 5:30 p.m. Registration can be completed at oxfordparkcommission.com. The deadline to sign up is Friday evening at 5 p.m.
So, as coming from a place that obviously has had some mascot identity issues over the years, I see there's a group at Illinois that's trying to make an otter their official mascot.
An otter?
An otter. Alma Otter.
Huh.
Yeah. Just seeing that.
Everybody likes an otter, though.
Think so?
Yeah.
It's a very Big Ten mascot. An otter's a very Big Ten mascot.
Like the Minnesota Otters.
Well, the Gophers is the reason you're saying this.
But Minnesota's cold.
But we already have Wolverines. We already have Beavers.
And Badgers. Have Beavers, too. Oregon State.
Yeah. You can have an otter.
Sure.
So, yeah. They're doing with some Native American stuff, obviously. They're being the Illini, and we're whatever.
So Illinois is thinking about the Otters. The Illinois Otters.
Well, I think they were going to stay the Illini, but they were just going to have an otter as a symbol or mascot or whatever. Very Auburn of them to do. Plainsmen, War Eagles, and Tigers, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't use the War Eagle on any signage or anything, do they? Is it on anything?
No, not really.
It's not.
Our family text is blowing up. It's been a trying weekend.
Has it?
I'm sure you've seen.
We talked about it. I got a question for you here. Last segment of the show, usually when we have a little observation stuff. Tell me if I was being rude the other day. I'll open it up to you and the thousands listening. Let me know. So, what? No, nothing. Looking at me funny. Went to lunch last week, new place in town.
Okay.
And somebody you go with pretty often, friend. Usually it's going to be a social gathering, going to talk a while, not really in a hurry whatsoever.
Okay.
And typically when that happens, don't even look at the menu for the first 15, 20 minutes. Just kind of talking, get some drinks, chilling.
Yeah.
Restaurant's kind of new. Not sold out, not people waiting in line, but busy. And it's 11:45. And the waiter comes over like immediately, like, all right, what do you want to drink? Are you ready to order? Well, no, it's going to be – I hadn't even looked. I don't know. Brings the drinks back. You ready to order? I haven't even picked up the menu. Sorry. Well, then I noticed, and it wasn't a big deal. I had all the time in the world, just kind of chatting, that the waiter doesn't come back for a while at that point, which, again, cool. But I noticed, like, the owner urging him to kind of come back and him going, no, they want a minute, and it was whatever. So my question I'm getting around to is that for the rest of the meal, was there probably an hour and 30 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
And the food came in, like, 6 minutes. It's fine. There was sort of that limbo between the two of them of, like, the owner wanting to make sure everything was filled up, the waiter really giving a lot of space, but then whatever. Just seemed uncomfortable kind of with the situation. So my question being, where does the expectation come that because of the way the restaurant is set up or the busyness or whatever, to where I need to be on a tighter schedule with my lunch situation? Because it did feel like nobody was rushing me, but I did feel like there was a sort of an expectation that I was not meeting in the restaurant. But there were tables available. I was not holding anyone up.
My answer is this.
You were in the service industry. I have no clue.
If there's a line of people waiting for tables.
There were not.
And every table's full.
No.
Then, there is some consideration.
Don't just marinate all that.
There's some consideration. It's lunch. You need to move on. But in that situation, you're not really hurting anything.
I didn't think so either. I was just kind of chilling.
But there are some places, man, that it's turn the table, turn the table, turn the table, turn the table, and it's just so focused.
Yeah, I did not, and nobody, like I said, there was no anger. I'm not upset. Frankly, I sat there long enough that they ended up bringing free dessert out for some reason that I didn't need, but it sat there.
I guess you could have asked, hey, are we holding things up? Or is that...
Don't you kind of sound like a jerk then at point? Like, hey, are we holding, like, you got a problem? I
don't know. I'm kind of transparent. Or is everything okay? I can tell y'all are...
He was cool, but I could tell the owner would... I don't think he was rushing me. I think it was just a matter of thinking the waiter wasn't doing his due diligence.
Did he know that he had the great Twitch star Chase Parham in the restaurant, and he was making sure that your experience was a great one? Is that possible?
I don't believe that to be the case. Now look,
you have quite the video presence these days.
Shut up.
I'm playing.
Oh, I know. He has other restaurants in town. I mean, he has no idea what my name is, but might just know my face from frequenting his restaurants.
Okay.
To, hey, let's just take care of everybody, but you know what I mean.
This guy's probably a repeat customer.
Yeah, I'm around a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I left and I didn't really think about it, and then kind of a couple days later I went, I wonder if I kind of pissed that guy off a little bit because I wasn't moving. Like I was just sort of, because I could tell the waiter was almost trying to kill time. He was fighting his urge to walk back to the table. And
probably what the waiter probably should have done was to come over and said, "Hey, I know you guys are just chatting. Signal to me or something. Let me know when you're
cool.
Let me know when you're ready to order. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to keep coming over and asking. Take your time, but I don't want to miss it either. So let me know when you're ready to order, and I'll come. I'll
Yeah.
All good.
Fair. Okay. Let's see. We got a busy week ahead. We got football stuff coming up as well this week.
We have football media opportunities Tuesday and Thursday. Spring break begins on the weekend, so they'll practice in front of us Tuesday and Thursday, and then we won't see them again for a week and a half. So next week when there's no football and everyone's screaming, "Where's the football? Where's the football?" There is no football. Let's take a break. 2 weeks on, spring break, then 3 weeks to end it.
I guess there's a couple guys left out there, but given what the rest of the division did, the Atlanta Braves have the worst offseason in baseball.
What's a complicated answer? No.
For a team fully in its window and coming off a division title.
That's the concern. If I'm a Braves fan, I'm not losing hope. I still have a very good young team that won a whole bunch of games that frankly should be better this year. But the Phillies got much better. JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, the Phillies are better. The Nationals improved in some ways. It sounds like they're probably going to get Craig Kimbrell to finish up their bullpen. Campbell does that too. I'm like,
I popped my back.
Yeah. And the Mets are better. So, yeah, I mean, it's a concern. I'd be frustrated.
It felt like the window just kind of closed a little. Just went a little bit.
Well, I think what happened was more people jumped in the window. There's not
made it more of a fight.
Not room for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, the Central's that way. The Cardinals are better with Goldschmidt. Brewers are – I think the Brewers are a little better.
They make moves? They do something?
No, but they're just a good team. The Reds are better.
I mean, Goldschmidt's good.
Goldschmidt's a really good player. Reds are better. Pittsburgh's still a solid club. Of course, the Cubs' argument is they won 95 games last year with Darvish not pitching and with Bryant hurt. And
so
Bryant looks fantastic in spring. Oh, my God. I wish they'd wrap him in bubble wrap.
He always looks good.
Yeah, but he was hurt last year, and he looks really good this year.
We'll close here. I just had not kind of going through this. Speaking of the SEC and the depth that I mentioned a minute ago, Vanderbilt is 1, Florida is 5, State is 7, Georgia is 9, Ole Miss is 10. That's 5 of 10 if you're counting at home, I believe.
Yeah.
LSU at 13, Arkansas at 15, Auburn at 19, A&M at 20. That's up to 9 if you're counting.
So that's 9 of the top 20 teams in the country.
9 of the top 20 teams in the country, and then South Carolina and Tennessee have also broken into the poll.
So 11 teams in the top 25.
Yeah.
Good God.
Speaking of schedule, too, if you're just kind of curious what Ole Miss is running into, East Carolina is 18. Looks like Louisville is falling out.
Okay. So those are automatic wins now in Louisville.
Hang on, let me make sure. Maybe I missed something. Because I don't want to be wrong there. Oh, no, sorry. Crap. Louisville's 8. Crap.
Oh.
Yeah, not out. 8.
Yeah.
That's not out.
So not an automatic win next week.
So I know they don't play all those teams, but that's about half your schedule against teams in like the top 20 in the country.
So a random team goes 18-12 in the SEC. Will that win a division?
It's gonna have a good shot. It's happened before.
17-13.
You gotta feel like somebody wins 18. I mean, I think somebody gets to 18.
Anybody get to 20?
Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt goes to 20.
I don't know how he does it, man. The little engine that could.
That schedule sets up really well for them. And Florida's schedule sets up so poorly is the thing. Like I said, Florida goes to Georgia, to Vanderbilt, to Ole Miss, to LSU.
What record wins the SEC West? Not asking you.
I think 17 has a shot. 17 certainly. I mean, look.
Could be a tie at 17.
It could. We've seen now look, this is not going to happen. Somebody's going to win it. Arkansas won that Son of Gun at 14-16 one year. When it just became a complete cluster in the middle.
Well, I mean, everybody's got to play each other.
Yeah, Arkansas won it the year Ole Miss missed the thing at 13-17. They finished. There was a play at the plate where if he gets in, they win the West. He did not get in. They missed the whole tournament. They didn't get in at 13-17. Had they gone 14-16, Arkansas would have been 13-17 too, and they would have won the SEC West.
They fired the coach?
They didn't. Apparently, they did not. He's in his 19th season.
Fired the third base coach?
Well, maybe think about the year for a minute, maybe.
Okay.
Actually, may have. No, think about it. All right. Anyway, more podcasts tomorrow. Tons at rebelgrove.com. A lot of coverage, recruiting from the weekend as well. Russell's been on top of that. Appreciate him. So, thanks to all you guys. Again, happy birthday to Libby Craddock. We'll talk to you tomorrow.